Now, I'm going to try to be as respectful as possible when it comes to what we have witnessed in the past 5 games by the Milwaukee Bucks. For those of you guys that did not tune in because you got the report that all of us got that Giannis was not going to be playing tonight against the Golden State Warriors, the Milwaukee Bucks were able to thwart the Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry led Golden State Warriors in a 120-110 victory on Milwaukee's side. This coming from a heroic game from Ryan Rollins and Cole Anthony, and especially Miles Turner, who this season a lot of people have sort of been questionable about the floor spacing that he was supposed to provide. He definitely provided it tonight. But in the grand scheme of things, outside of tonight, let's eliminate tonight. We are going to get to the bottom of how you niggas choose to cover the Milwaukee Bucks. Because Giannis, so far, outside of tonight's game, has played every single game up to now, and he has been top 2, not 2, since the jump. But yet, for some reason, a report comes out on Twitter. Hold on, let me pull this up. A report comes out on October 29th that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is leading the charge at 33% to win MVP. Victor Wembanyama is leading the charge at 22%. Nikola Jokic, who quite literally started off the season playing like shit, and he gets the 3rd spot with 18%. Mind you, chat, mind you, right up to this listing, Giannis literally just put forth a dominant performance against the New York Knicks in a win. And that wasn't even the best game that he's provided so far. But yet, you niggas want to say that we're being over dramatic and Giannis doesn't get covered because he just simply is not playing at the level of these guys. I call bullshit. The numbers he's putting forth, the efficiency, the accuracy, it's crazy. And the nastiest part, all the performances that Giannis has put forth, and ESPN has not done anything to cover it. Basketball wise, this is all that ESPN has decided to cover. They decided to cover Austin Reeves, albeit one hell of a story to talk about. They decided to cover the Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier stuff that's going on in terms of gambling. That is a valid thing to cover. They've gone out of their way to cover Wemby. Do you guys want to know what they decided to talk about when it came to Giannis?
Because tonight, the Bucks and the Knicks will play for the first time since the two were connected in trade talks for Giannis over the summer. Our Shams Charania reported earlier this month that Giannis expressed interest in playing for New York, but ultimately he returned to Milwaukee and is reportedly monitoring how the first quarter of the season goes and where this team stands in the East. So Giannis is averaging 36 and 16 so far. It's early goings, but that's the 3rd most points per game and the most boards.
There you go.
So,
okay.
Brian, now that these two are facing off for the first time, of course there's going to be conversations about what this means and if there's more attention on this game. What are you hearing from folks around the league?
Y'all are fucking jokes. You don't want to talk about none of this historical excellence that you're just glossing over like it's just a casual day. Mind you, chat, he's doing all of this while only averaging 32, 33 minutes a game. You niggas won't break down the magnitude of what these niggas are doing, because I promise you guys, chat, the games that we're watching over on playback, the impact, the way in which he is attacking, he has improved in areas that niggas won't discuss. He's attacking closeouts from Jared Allen and Evan Mobley rather than taking him off the dribble like he was asked to do last year, but nobody speaks about that. He's improved in how quickly he can read a defense compared to last year, which was an improvement from the last year, but nobody will talk about that. Overall, how willingly he's willing to shoot a mid-range or take what the defense is giving him from a 3-point line perspective, but nobody will cover that. This man is still a top 10 scorer in this league. He is still a top 15 playmaker in this league. He is still a top 20 defender in this league, while also becoming an even better off-ball player than he was in years prior, but nobody wants to talk about that. This Giannis Jokic shit that some nigga named Swiper on Player's Choice is trying to like gloss over like it's just like a casual thing for you niggas to not acknowledge how piss poor this nigga is defensively, but that side matters. Now, unlike you niggas, I'm going to actually do the job that you niggas have failed for years doing. I'm going to tell you exactly how well the Milwaukee Bucks have been playing. First, let's give a clear shout out to Ryan Rollins. Ryan Rollins has been nothing short of stupendous, outstanding, amazing. The things that we're seeing him do on the defensive end, while also improving massively on the offensive end. I am very proud of that young brother. And shout out to you Bucks haters that love to say that the Milwaukee Bucks have not developed talent. You're literally watching one develop right before your eyes. So respectfully, shut the fuck up. Another nigga that's been developing with the Milwaukee Bucks right before your eyes. Shout out to AJ Green. AJ Green having another hot start to the season, shooting 59% from three. That is nothing short of impactful, dynamic, especially with how he's developing with coming off of the dribble with his three-point shooting. That is very much needed in this offense because there are times that we could become very stagnant, very Giannis heavy, and AJ Green taking players off of the dribble to create a three-point shot. It definitely adds some, it definitely adds a wrinkle into the offense that forces a defense to have to sort of shift. Nonetheless, I'm watching what he's doing on the floor, and it definitely is showing to influence how a defense chooses to guard us on the offensive end as a whole. I know people ain't gonna want to give him his credit, but shout out to Gary Trent Jr. Gary Trent Jr. this season is shooting a little rough from the three-point line. I think it's like 35% on like 8, maybe 7 attempts. But the shots that he's taking are necessary. It's a method to his madness. Him taking these shots actually are valuable because when he's taking these shots, it's forcing the defense to still have to focus on him, because whether people want to acknowledge it or not, Gary Trent Jr. is a prolific three-point shooter. He's coming off of a season of shooting 42% for us. So I'm willing to give him a bit of grace. Shout out to Miles Turner. Again, another player that's not shooting well from the field, from the three-point line, but the value he's providing defensively, the value he's providing in terms of spacing the defense, because they do know that he has the capability of making the threes that he's taking, is very much balancing the spectrum. He's also boxing out heavily. There's a reason why Giannis is averaging 14 rebounds. It's not just because Giannis is crashing the boards. It's also because Miles Turner is creating a lot of space with his big body to be able to allow Giannis to get the ball out, to create transition. But the biggest shout out goes to Giannis. Everybody knows this is Giannis's show, and I want to make sure that we have this on record, that Giannis is playing at an MVP level. Actually, Giannis is playing like he should be the MVP of the league, but he won't get it. Giannis won't get it, even though Jokic is playing less inspired basketball than he has in the last 2 seasons. Less focused, less attentive on the defensive end than I've seen him in a long time. Shooting splits haven't been that impressive. Scoring aggression has not been that impressive. Inexcusable in my eyes, but however, you Jokic fans will try to move the goalpost to make it excusable. SGA has been the same, more or less. The shooting splits have been down, but I think that part of that is because J-Dub has been out, and I think that they haven't been looking as efficient on the perimeter as they did last year. I'll give them grace until J-Dub gets back. But Giannis has been just as consistent as a scoring threat as all of them, if not more. Giannis has been very explosive defensively. Obviously, nowhere near Wemby, but offensively, what he's providing is probably more valuable than what Wemby is providing so far, or at least a conversation. But the conversation stops with Wemby. Everybody else, Giannis has been much better than defensively. And respectfully to Wemby, even though I do give him his credit, he hasn't faced the caliber of teams that Giannis has faced so far, yet Giannis has produced and translated that impact against those exact teams. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks is more valid of competition than anybody that Wemby has played thus far. Last thing, and this won't be long, give Doc Rivers fucking credit. Please stop disrespecting that man. Doc Rivers is who he is historically, but what he's doing for Milwaukee is nothing short of spectacular. We're top 10 in pace. We have a top 10 offense. And I want to say after what we're doing against Golden State, we should have a top 10 defense, if not fringe. Man, put respect on our name.